Welcome to Reality After Show coverage of Survivor Australia. That's Australian Survivor. It's Australia v. the World, episode 2 after show. I'm Jonny Fairplay. You're not Aiden Porter. You're the winner of Brains v. Brawn 2, Myles Kuah. I would be remiss if I did not mention there is a stripper pole behind you for those of you that are just listening and not watching.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. It's kind of crazy because I feel like a couple of months ago I was listening to you talk about me on Survivor. Now I'm the one talking about all these crazy people that are out there giving us a crazy episode, but I'm sure we'll get into that. And yeah, I've got this stripper pole in my living room. It's kind of held together by cardboard and hope.
Well, so that's what you did with your winnings. You just bought a stripper pole and called it a day.
Yeah, basically. I mean, if you talk to anyone from my season, I'm not a particularly big spender. I did buy a really nice pair of boots as well. Fancy high heel boots. Boots and stripper pole. That was my winning spending.
I did not win Survivor, and I bought a Myles t-shirt. That's
I know. It's cool. Hey, I got my Fairplay. I should have worn my Fairplay t-shirt. I got it in the drawer right now.
Yeah. Did you notice my attire yesterday? I don't know if it meant anything, but I felt like there was a lot of clues in my.
I didn't. Did I? I'm sorry. I wasn't paying I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess. Oh, actually, I did watch your podcast while I was quite drunk from following the episode, so I may have missed that.
Go back. There's quite a few tells in that first episode.
Yeah.
Who knows what it's referring to? Probably spoiling Deal or No Deal Island season 8.
Yeah, okay, I'll check it out. I'll have to go back and have a look.
So, all right, well, we begin the episode previously on Survivor. This is a Michael Bay film. This is not even Survivor anymore.
So good.
There's been some incredible intros in the history of Survivor. Was yesterday's the best of all time?
Oh, by far. I remember, I actually wish I didn't watch it when they put it up on the socials beforehand, because watching it live, I watched it, I was at George's watch party, as I'm sure you know, and watching it live in that atmosphere was unbelievable. You're just having, the one thing that really stands out is all of these guys just are killer line deliverers, right? Like their confessionals are just boom, boom, boom. Rob, who obviously had a bit of an unfortunate downfall, his lines on like, we got kings and gods and they need to be humbled and I'm going to give them a thrashing from South Africa is just, and then everything Parvati was saying, and I'm just going to keep going on and on. Like it was so good. I couldn't believe it.
I've enjoyed pretty much everyone's confessionals, episode 1 and here episode 2, minus the Golden God, episodes 1 and 2. Little cartoony,
I totally
right?
agree. Yeah. I think what it is that I think their edit is putting him as more of like a villain edit. And so historically we've seen these kind of big villainous confessionals from a more like a lot of people really loving him and he's the winner and he's getting the winner's edit. But here, knowing what we know now from today, we know he's going out second. And so they're kind of painting him as a bit of this villain and we're seeing the more kind of like nasty negative side from him, I guess.
Yeah, it reminds me of Coach 2.0. Like Coach was trying to find that lightning in a bottle and you can't. Yeah. I mean, like it's literally like that's why that's a phrase. And what made Coach so lovable on Token Chins was he didn't know that he was this lovable douchebag. He thought he was a great warrior, and it's just like, no, you kind of suck, but don't change anything. We love that.
Yeah, and I also think as well his target, because with George, you're very close with George. I'm fairly close with George. Like he does have his quirks, but did feel at times like Dave was just kind of punching down a little bit, and especially as someone else who's probably in the kind of like fun, quirky, lovable freak category that George is in, I did feel a bit of empathy, especially as you watched like the start of my season. I was definitely in that bottom of the tribe role. And when you're on it's one thing to be talking a bit of smack to someone who's like on the top of the tribe or cruising through the middle. When someone's already just on the bottom of the tribe, talking smack and punching down does feel like it's a little bit much sometimes.
Yeah. And like, for the Golden God to say that King George isn't in his league on episode 1, it's not true. And his only qualifier is I won, this guy hasn't. The guy you're saying that to in Luke Toki, he ain't won either. So you're kind of shitting on your friend too.
Yeah. And if you look at George's seasons, right, like he made the finale twice. He's played more days than David has. And if you're talking about like big moves, George's resume is almost so, like, he's got episode 7 from Heroes versus Villains. But even if you take that out, he's got the best resume of anyone, possibly an international Survivor, let alone Australian Survivor.
Yeah, I was telling Eden yesterday, you subtract the Golden Gods finale episode, I think George is better on paper.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree. Now, there is something to be said about playing a winning game versus not. And like, I do think that George has some kind of inherent flaws in his game that make it very hard for him to win, and then that David doesn't have. But as far as like when you're talking about who's in what league, to be putting him down like that, especially knowing what happens this episode where he's being like, George can't be a shield for me. Yeah, it would have been nice to have George as a shield for him this episode. Like, that would have been pretty good.
I mean, you know, spoiler, I mean, because we are going to talk about the episode. The Golden God goes home. The Golden God was set. If you're casting this and you're the Golden God, it literally cannot be any better for you.
Dream casting for him. He's got everyone that he could possibly want to work with out there.
And everyone that he wants to send home. I mean, when phone calls went out for season 40, it was supposed to be Rivals, not Legends. Like, you know, I was, you know, getting calls and they're just like, hey, did you get them? I'm just like, no, you know, and I was the first phone call for season 40 before they switched it to Winners at War. And, you know, people were just like, hey, I got the call. I'm like, cool. And then they're like, hey, so-and-so got the call. I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting there and it was pretty much 50-50 of people that I wanted to play with and people that I didn't want to play with. And I'm like, ooh. And I'm just like, you know what? This is kind of optimal because I don't want to send home all of my friends.
Yeah, totally. 100%. So he's got like easy targets and he's got people who he can work with. But it is really interesting to see how the dynamics, the key in it all was Sarah. Sarah ended up going with Kirby and the two of them ended up holding all of the power. And what's crazy is that George seemed to want to work with David. And so David not wanting to work with George gave Sarah and Kirby all of the power. He could have very easily had that power and switched it around on someone else. But by just gunning for George, by polarizing their options like that to either David or George, he gives the people in the middle all of the power, which is just this bizarre move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, David, he wasn't even entertaining another option. Like, I mean, it took George to reveal all of his cards, pull him aside.
He still didn't even. That's what's crazy. He still didn't even. He has George in front of Kirby being like, yeah, she's gunning for you. And Dave goes, oh, well, I'm going to keep gunning for you anyway. Like, I don't care. Like,
it's absolute power absolutely corrupts.
Yeah, David is obviously an incredible player, but I'll tell you what, this was a rough showing from him tonight. And I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's like an ego thing or whatnot. And it's one thing that's really, that George actually has to him. And I think I've probably got a little bit of this as well. You can have a big ego, but it's about kind of having that willingness to kind of shove it down to the bottom and just kind of like, you know, do whatever, play along and whatnot. And George definitely has that. We've seen it multiple times. I think we saw it on this episode. And David's never really been put in a position like this where he's been in that spot where he needs to shove down his ego like that. And I think he really struggled with that, with the idea of like just having to sit down, shut up and go along with what other people want.
Yeah. And we saw that in your game. Like you had a couple moments of I guess ego would be the word.
I have a very big ego naturally.
And those two episodes, it was not helping your game, and B, it wasn't helping your like it's just like we like you, we like you fighting from underneath. Like that's the love that's I understand you're there to try to win $500,000, but at the same time you're also there to make a television show, and you're ruining what we like about you. But the good thing for you, because I think everything happens for a reason, and I think it forced your hand to drop that ego. When you had that ego and you had that arrogance, something bad would happen, and you were back, and it's just like, okay, lesson learned. And it's just and I felt that you would read and those are the moments that pushed you to be that great player and an eventual winner. And those are also those moments they gave us, the viewers, just like, hey, the Myles that we like is back.
Yeah, and like the thing is, you get those moments, right? Like David probably had a couple of those moments in this episode where he could have course corrected, right? Where you get the wake up call, like when Sarah comes to Janine and it somehow gets back to him and he gets a wake up call, like, oh, your name's really on the chopping block. And then even when he's that amazing well scene where he's talking to Kirby and George, and George outs everything, like those, if he's self-reflecting and analyzing constantly, those should be those wake up calls where he goes, oh, I'm doing something wrong. I'm on the wrong path here. I need to switch up what I'm doing because what I'm currently doing isn't working. But yeah, I guess there's a lack of some level of like self-analysis or like being critical of his own gameplay that meant that he just wasn't able to do that course correcting.
Do you feel like the move halfway through, like, I mean, especially after the water well, is the move just Kirby if you're David?
I don't know if it's Kirby because I get the feeling that Kirby was fairly well insulated. I feel like Jonny was probably the easier vote. I think
Jonny's the move, but like he sees Kirby gaining this power, and I feel that that's an argument you can sell to others. Plus, I mean, it's just a ton of OGs. Who's the odd man out?
Well, the reason why I'd say Jonny over Kirby is just that I think at the point at which you're where you're in the spot that he is, where you're on the bottom, I don't think you want to be going for the big swing there. I think you want to be just going for the anyone but me, and Jonny is the person that he can get numbers for. Also, here's
Twine.
Yeah.
George's favorite player from America.
Yeah.
I'm number 2, apparently.
But also, can I give you a
book? Hold on.
Oh, I haven't.
Yes, I would be number 2.
But yeah, can I give you a hot take about what I think David should have considered? I genuinely think David should have considered voting out Janine. And this may be a bit spicy, but I think that Janine raises David's threat level, right? She makes this like big block of 3, right, that everyone's really scared of. But Janine's never going to get voted out before David is, right? Like she's not acting as a shield. She's just going to be the side person, and David's always going to take the heat. And all she does is increase his threat level. And he can take out Janine and potentially build connections with George or whoever else he wants to build as what is probably a more useful ally than Janine is going to be.
Yeah. And I mean, and once getting back to the whole, we're making a television show here. What does Janine bring into your television?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy as well? David thinks about that, right? Like David's been very open about the fact that he thinks about the TV-ness of it all. But I also think that's potentially part of the downfall, is that he's thinking about the TV-ness and he's thinking, I don't want George next to me hogging these confessionals. I want to be the main confessional hog out here.
Yeah. I think that is a huge fault. I think casting. I wasn't aware of some of the people on the World Tribe, just because I watch enough television. I enjoy watching a show where I'm not taking notes for 90 minutes. Like it really warms my heart. And there's so many shows out there that I cover that those moments are few and far between. And it's like, hey, there's an episode of New Zealand Survivor from 3 years ago you should really watch. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not going to catch up on that. So, but I will say, casting wise, the Australian Tribe, I think is perfect, minus I sub out Janine for Haley. And I think this is one of the best casts of all time. Plus, it's not the, hey, here's David and all of his friends tribe.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's just David. I think it's David and Luke and all of their friends. Because also Luke has the Kirby connection as well. Like, I think that's part of why you can't go for Kirby, because Luke and Kirby are old friends as well. So how are you going to go for Kirby if his closest ally is Luke? But I agree. I mean, I do think Janine is like, it's decent casting, and this is the only time you're going to get her because she doesn't want to do a long season. But I do agree that you're definitely missing not having Haley there, who I think is probably a bit more of like a grand, amazing casting as far as like AU Survivor all-time royalty.
Well, I feel like Haley is to Parvati as Shawnee is to Sari. Like it's so, like when I first started watching Australian Survivor, they're just like, you're gonna love Shawnee, you're gonna love Shawnee, you're gonna love Shawnee, and I'm watching Shawnee, and I'm just like, oh my god, I love Shawnee, and they're just like, see, I told you. I'm just like, but I think I like Shawnee I'm like, Shawnee is Sari. Like, I mean, I know that they don't look the same, but they are. It's the fun comments, the I'm going to try this amount, which is a lot. But I really don't have a whole lot to try.
Yeah.
And
oh,
what
100%.
I have is more than enough for me.
Yeah. People compare Shawnee to Parvati a lot, but I actually very strongly agree with that it's much more of a Suri comparison, especially with how they use their social game and whatnot. Like, I do think Shawnee's social game is more around being just like more generally social and likable, versus Parvati's feels a lot more targeted. And you can comment on this better than I can, but it definitely feels like Suri has more of a general aura of like likability, versus Parvati's is like a switch it on with this person, switch it on, like locking in and focusing at her social attention around.
And that's very Haley.
Yeah, which is very Haley. Yeah, it's a difference of like trying to keep all your options open versus trying to focus and pick your best option, which I think Parvati and Haley both do.
Yeah, I really wish they had done more of a parody casting thing. I mean, it's like you got the Golden God, you got Rob, you got George, you got Jonny Fairplay, you got Parvati, you got Haley.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would have been a lot of fun. I mean, I guess part of that you can probably blame the US people who were like, we're not doing Australia versus US, it's Australia versus the world instead.
Oh, well, I have no allegiance to the US, and I'll tell you this, if I were to be out there, whether I'm on the US tribe or the world tribe, I'm defecting to Australia the second the merge hits.
Hell yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, one last thing. You were at George's big premiere party. I heard it. I heard a pretty amazing story from Chrissy from Blood versus Water, and apparently a cute young fan with brown hair walked up to George and said, "Hi," and he goes, "Hi. Hope you have fun tonight. It should be a great party." And keeps walking, and Chrissy goes, "George, you asshole, that's Lisa."
I'll tell you what, I was so pleasantly surprised to see Lisa there.
So was George, so apparently.
Amazing. Yeah, apparently, which is crazy because they were on the same freaking season. Yes. But I will say something interesting about Lisa. Something that really stood out to me with her, meeting her, is that in this room full of like crazy big personalities and big egos, me included in both of those things, Lisa is so chill. Like, she's so easygoing and down to earth. But also, I got to have a really nice chat with her. We actually took an Uber from one venue to the other together. We split an Uber, and chatting to her about like strategy, she's very switched on. Like, she's got this like really chill, low key demeanor, but when the way she was talking about the game was like, "Oh, you're a demon."
Nice. So, and everyone, I think for a lot of the fandom, we're all Lisa stans now. Like, a lot of us, we're not aware of her, and we're just like, "Hey, I love her. She's great. Like, she's us." You know, it's like she's playing the game as us. And then you have some, I don't know, fuddy duddies is like, "Oh my God, she's fangirling out there." Listen, be fangirling out there.
I'd be fangirling out there. Yeah, 100%. I'd be shameless
I'm friends
about
with Suri, and when I hang out with Suri, it's like, holy shit, it's Suri.
Yeah, that was me at the event last night. I'm like friends with George. I still freak out whenever I hang out with George.
George is one of my best friends.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah.
And you're his second favorite US Survivor player.
Yeah. I mean, I can't win with that guy. You know what? I'm going Team Golden God. We'll see how that works out. We'll get there. All right. It's day 3, and Luke is bird watching. No, he's not. He's idle looking and banana thieving. He's creeping. He is the Luke Toki that we know and love, and not the bully from episode 1.
Which is nice. I'm interested to see how he does now without Dave around. I do think that there was probably it was very Dave focused on them, and he was now going to be able to loosen up. It was also very interesting that he was never even entertaining playing his idol for David. That was very interesting to me.
And I love that for him, because I feel he's always been in David's shadow, and if you're going to pick a season to step out of his shadow, this is a pretty fucking good one.
Yeah. But yeah, and I also just think actually losing David is probably good for Luke's threat level. I think people would probably looking at them as this big scary block. and it probably just loosens them up to play a little bit more. People probably aren't seeing him as a bigger threat. Like, there's probably the one season where Luke doesn't have a massive target on his back, in that if we were playing any other game, any other time, he's going to be the biggest threat out there. But he's actually got a little bit of coverage around him at the moment.
Yeah, no, I think he's in a great spot right now. So, well, he steals bananas. He tells the Golden God. He tells Shawnee. And it's just like, okay, I feel like this is a little revealing as to who Luke is friends with, but maybe not, because like Shawnee's name seems to trickle out of his mouth, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's, for everyone out there, there's like their strong connections, and then everyone else is, I think most of them are going to be pretty open season. Like, that's what we're seeing over in the World Tribe, where like the US people sticking together seems to have fallen apart almost immediately after Rob's gone home. I mean, we'll see what it means for Tony, but him and Tommy don't seem to be in the best spot there.
No. I feel we have a Black Widow alliance in formation. So we shall see.
I mean, it's a shocking twist that on a season with 4 women on each tribe of 7, including 2 iconically women alliance people, and then Kirby and Shawnee, iconic girls, the girls are dominating so far. Yeah. Like, I think you could have seen that one coming from a mile away.
I think so too. So, you know what? Let's go back. There's a statement, and I don't think Eden and I addressed it yesterday, and I've been thinking about it. Parv and I actually chatted very briefly yesterday for the first time in 22 years. Sorry, 18 years. The math was not mathing. So 18 years. Rob's comment. And I understand the comment, and Parvati caught it, and I caught it, and Parvati kind of shut it down because it's very antiquated. You know, Rob's just like, hey, let's get rid of Sari, because then it's three guys, 3 girls, and we're down an American, and that evens things out. Now, I understand a statement like that, 20 years ago on Survivor, or maybe 15 years ago on Survivor. And for some of us, maybe 3 years ago on Survivor. But like 2025, as a father of 2 daughters, like my entire life is women. I got my fiance, totally. I got my mom, my dad has passed. My stepmom just called me. I'm going to go dig a hole for her dead dog as soon as we're done with this. I had the dead grandma. I got, my life is women, for some guy to be like, hey, this evens it up. And it's just like, aren't we all just kind of people right now? I mean, I don't really, my penis isn't changing anything in the equation here.
Oh, 100%. And the fact is, the reason why, these kind of all women's alliance that's been attempted since Micronesia seems to have died is because in reality, it's not actually a thing that really makes an alliance. It's actually personalities and how well you get along that makes an alliance, not what's between your legs. And so people get so freaked out about these women's alliances being made. And in reality, it's not that big of a deal. If you build the strong social bonds with people, you don't have to worry about it. But I guess in Rob's case, he wasn't building the strong social bonds with those people.
Well, I think possibly equally as bad is the all-girls alliance for the sake of all girls. I feel like that's just as sexist.
I also agree with that as well.
Yeah. Rob's saying. Honestly, one of my favorite alliances, and we'll get to my second favorite here in a second. One of my favorite alliances ever is the Spice Girls. So
100%.
You got Liz, Shawnee, and George, and it's just he's Scary Spice, and then they bring in the old cogs of Jerry, and it's just like how, and it's like he's Old Spice.
Have you met Jerry? I got to meet Jerry last night. Last night actually. He was at George's finale party. Have you met him?
Did you love him?
Yeah, he's a lovely old codger. He's an old bastard.
Oh yeah,
in the best
was
of ways.
Pam there?
Yeah, she was there as well.
Nice. Pam is Jerry's significant other. She is amazing. We all love. I love Pam. I love Jerry more than anything, but I love Pam more than Jerry.
Yeah, they were a lovely combo. It was good fun chatting to them.
Yeah, they're great. So, speaking of alliance names, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, because you're here. There is an alliance that is very short-lived here. They are called the Power Bottom Alliance. The first time that's ever been used in the history of Survivor, Myles. Can you believe it?
I'm claiming homophobia here. It has been stolen from the queer community. The fact it is I am frothing and spewing that this has been stolen away from two actual gays who are also actually on the bottom of the tribe. Oh my God. Don't know how this happened, but fuming.
Yes. So last season, Myles and Paulie were the Power Bottom Alliance. And I remember when I met you, I was with you were with AJ, I was with King George, and we were chatting, and you mentioned this Power Bottom Alliance, and King George goes, "That's great, sweetheart. It's not going to make the light of day because we have the Power Bottom Alliance."
Yeah, and he was so completely correct. Our Power Bottom Alliance got benched for the Golden God King George Power Bottom Alliance.
Would you have put money on the Golden God labeling them the Power Bottoms?
I thought George. I assumed George came up with the name. Like it's such a George name.
Yeah.
No, you know what it is. I realized what it was the other day. It's a Golden God comes from Almost Sunny in Philadelphia, right? So does Power Bottoms. Like Power Bottoms are referenced quite a lot in Always Sunny, and so he's got the Power Bottoms reference, because I was like, how is a man like Dave Jeunet making Power Bottom references? And then I was like, oh, it's a Always Sunny thing, which is where the Golden God thing comes from.
Okay, all right, that tracks. So,
yeah.
Luke Toki finds an idol. It is exactly where potentially where, based on the edit, I don't know, where George and Shawnee where George was doing his non-apology speech to Shawnee.
Oh, so funny. It's so George.
Shawnee, I'm good. Well, I hope you are. You should be, bro.
No, I can't laugh at that, because when I watched George play, all of that shit that he does, I'm so similar. Like I'm really bad for the just saying things and just not realize how they're being taken by other people. So I watch George do stuff like that and I go, that's hilarious, but also I do that as well. That'd be me out there.
Yeah, you had a couple of those moments last season.
I had a lot of moments of those that weren't shown that if I hadn't have won would have gotten shown a lot more.
So, Luke A is wearing a red Dodgers cap. I love the love of U.S. sports in
Australian Survivor.
In Australian Survivor. So I will give you a quick back. Dirty Harry, he rock. What was the hat he wore?
I can't remember, but he wore a sports hat as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was no allegiance to that team. The gimmick was he wanted a Mario hat because he loves video games and Mario, and they couldn't get the licensing. And so he was just like, okay, well, I'll do this hat because it's, whatever. But I was just like, hey, do you want? He's like, no, I don't really. I just wanted Mario.
Yeah, you were disappointed that he wasn't into US sports.
No, yeah. So I was like, all right, fair enough. So, Luke Toki finds the idol. Says he's telling no one. He is the king of the jungle. Well, you are the jungle rat. Do you adhere to this philosophy? Is Luke Toki making the first great move of the game in that he's not sharing even the information of his idol?
I mean, obviously, I shared a lot of idols, but I think it's entirely dependent on how you play the game. Like, Luke has a lot of builds very strong social connections, and so I think it makes sense for him to not share it because he doesn't need the loyalty that would be built from sharing it. I shared it because I didn't build great social connections, so I could use it as actual social capital. But I think for someone like Luke, he probably doesn't have to worry about that to the same extent, right? So it makes sense for him to hide it.
I think the duration of the game changes that as well.
That too.
I think in a long form game, I'm potentially sharing that information because I do need that trust capital versus this is a 16-day shootout. Yeah. I need this in my back pocket with no one knowing when I need it.
Yeah, like I don't think that there's going to be really any of these like die-hard ride or die alliances in this season because everyone knows it's 16 days, everyone's playing insanely hard, anyone's going to knife anyone, so it's going to be a lot more strategic, a lot less social.
Yeah, so no, I think that's the right move. We're back on the World Tribe. Hey, Rob got that unanimous vote he was looking for.
So good. So good.
Sweet. But I'm like, but he did Parvati no favors. And
No.
Or did he? Tony is putting himself on house arrest. We know how that works out. He likes to win $2 million when he does that. So I chatted with Tony about his Game Changers performance, and we have similar minds in that when I was out there on Survivor, I would dream the next day. I would dream the conversations I was going to have with people, and like it would literally be like the words I dreamt the words they were saying, and I dreamt, my follow-up words and all that. And Tony did that on Game Changers, but he just had this chaotic dream in which he was like, I'm going to do all of this crazy shit. And he was just like, because I should have known, that dream was like, it was a one and done, just like the episode, like there wasn't a second dream to the story that he had in his head.
He's definitely playing his best at the moment as far as just what we saw in Winners at War, which is just keep your head low, try and keep a low profile, which so far seems to be working well because he's not really coming up in the conversation yet.
Yeah. So no, not getting a lot of airtime either, but anyway.
Yeah, bizarre that two-time winner and incredibly quirky character Tony Vlachos is not getting a huge amount of airtime. But
for the record, it's Vlachos. I was corrected by.
Tony. Is it?
Yeah, Vlachos, but that whatever you said is 8 million times better than whatever George butchered it with yesterday. So there's that. So it's Vlachos. I don't even think Jeff says it correctly. All right. So Tony is aware of Parv and Suri. They are all about all-girl alliances. And then we go back to David and his tribe of friends.
He's got his web of spies.
They're all his friends except for George and Shawnee. And I'm like, you could kind of have both of them too. And so he wants to work on Kirby. And have you ever seen a straight guy hit on a lesbian girl at a bar?
I had thought of that, but that is exactly what was going on there.
Yeah, he's going to turn her.
Yeah, I really think people, like, having seen a lot of the chat coming into this season, a lot of people kind of forget with Kirby because she's so like chill and mild-mannered that she's actually like the alpha dog. On her season, the entire time she spent like wanting to make big moves, blindsides, and cut off anyone's head who like stood too far above the pack. Like she really does not like playing with like she really likes being the person, the top dog and person in charge. So I coming in was always like, I don't think Kirby's gonna vibe with David at all. Like at least I think George has like the queer, like the fun queer side to him that he can potentially connect with Kirby with. But I always looked at like Kirby and Dave just like, oh, that's not a connection that I think is going to work well.
No, I think he was hitting on her too, and I was just like, wrong jersey, dude, wrong jersey. she does not like, she does not want a free Golden God T-shirt at the end of this.
Dude, maybe he could have asked Parvati to give her some like winks across the mat, be like, yeah, work with him, keep him safe.
I think that's a thing. She does say later that she wants to be his best friend. She just, wants to vote him out of the game. So I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So, all right. So he reveals that he wants George and Shawnee out. Kirby's like, yeah, that's great. I have a secret alliance with Shawnee, but I'm not going to tell you about that. So we see this Janine pitch from George to Kirby. Like right here early on. This was, according to a source, taken out of order. This conversation takes place right before Tribal.
Interesting. You see, I kind of get that because in my mind, for a lot of them out there, I think Janine actually makes sense. I think it's a lot of ego, both from Kirby and from Dave, that is, and from even others on the tribe potentially, that is why they're not going for Janine, because I think Janine is kind of the optimum vote for almost everyone out there.
Yeah. No, the conversation for pretty much everyone was that
David George, right?
With was the Golden God. It's just like, this is the move. I mean, first one out, they got rid of Rob. They're down a muscle. We do a muscle, big move, huge TV, blah blah blah. And then George is like, that's great, and I love it. However, isn't just an easy move no one sees coming, Janine, and then the Golden God is weakened, and he's next.
Yeah, but you keep him around as a big shield, because what happens now, Janine probably just fades into the background and no one cares about her.
Yeah,
which is not good for these people.
I think George was right with it. And once again, and we're making a TV show.
Yeah. Keep that rival. And it's one of the great things about Titans versus Rebels, which is my favorite season, is you've got these two massive characters, and they're just picking off each other's sidekicks the whole time. That's great TV.
That's what bothered me with Ghost Island, because I feel like Ghost Island was so set up for Wendell's team or Dom's team versus Chris's team.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, all right, we vote out Chris. And I'm just like, all right, now we got Donathan.
And I think, it's an ego thing. I know I've talked a lot about this, but I do think a lot of Survivor in general, let alone this kind of season, is dictated by ego. I think it's an ego thing, right? People want the big move. People want to win over whoever the big rival is. They want that person's scalp. But in reality, a lot of the time, it's actually just way better to just keep the big threat in, keep him as a shield, and then cut him later. You don't want to leave Janine hanging around, right? That's something that she's just going to coast through.
Yeah. I think it's for me, it's more fun to wound and hurt you and then get to watch you drip with blood than just I killed him. Well, he didn't feel it.
Yeah. Not to constantly bring this back to my season, but when people are always like, oh, why didn't you take out Logan? Why didn't you take out Logan? Logan's the big person, big personality, right? PD is someone. Yeah, PD, no one's looking at PD, right? If I take out Logan, PD just continues to scrape through the whole time under the radar, and he's who's looking at PD, right? Everyone's like, why'd you take out PD? No one cares about PD. Yeah, that's the problem, right? And I think we're in the same situation here with Janine. Why would you take out Janine? Because nobody wants to take out Janine.
Yeah. So, and if you had taken out sweet Logan, I mean,
you would have had my head.
You would deprive me of so many memes. Oh, sweet Logan. All right. Let's see. Kirby doesn't understand why David can't be first. We're making a TV show. Sarah has known David since she was 17, but she's crazy. Down for David. And I was just like, wow, what a shit friend.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's just trying to. I think sometimes, I'm sure you've seen this, returnee players, when they come back, are a little bit haunted by their previous seasons and some of the mistakes that they may have made there. And I think Sarah is very clearly focused on kind of course correcting her previous seasons, potentially to her detriment here. It seems like she's laser focused in a way that could be harmful to a game, to be honest.
Well, peek behind the curtain, Sarah was having conversations with George prior to going out there, and Kirby was having conversations with George prior to going out there. And then, of course, David was talking to his people prior to going out there. So, and Shawnee was like, I'm not playing. And is like, oh no, she's playing. So, but we'll see what happens. But it doesn't. I feel these conversations meant a lot more to George than they meant to Sarah and Kirby.
Yeah, I suspect as well. I imagine that there was probably a little bit of we'll go along with that. Sure, we'll humor you.
Yeah. So George lived with me for 3 months. I get it, but it's just 16. George for 16 days sounds like a blast.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I think George is the ideal ally in that he's actually fiercely loyal to the people he plays with most of the time. He's very loyal. He's a great strategist, right? Who will potentially get you out of crap situations. And he's just the biggest he's the biggest attractor of attention he's the biggest shield imaginable, who also can't win challenges. It really interests me that people are so unwilling. He's got this reputation for, I'm gonna he's this shifty guy, is gonna make big moves and backstab everyone. He actually is pretty loyal a lot of the time, and he's been a very good ally to a lot of people who have worked with him. Like, it surprises me that more people aren't willing to just work with him and get behind him.
I think the issue is he's a little bullheaded.
Yeah.
And the problem is, you won't move. Like, George doesn't like George wanted the Golden God gone, but he's like, Kirby, this is your move. And she's like, oh, it's sorry. He goes, no, it's yours. You can have it. It's fine. I don't care. Because George can do whatever he needs in that final jury speech, and he's either going to win or he's not. So, but the issue with him being bullheaded is it's just like, well, I want to do a move, and it might not be the right move, but I want to move. And it's just like, if you pay attention, he's got beautiful mind going on behind his head. Whatever the great move is, he's figured it out. So yes, it sucks that you didn't figure that out, but he did. Go with it.
Yeah, and if you're his number one, then the big move that he's making is benefiting you almost certainly.
Well, not only is it benefiting you, he's also going to give you credit.
Yeah, it's something that really surprises me.
If you're just like say it's me, you, and George in an alliance, and he figures out every move, and he was just, and you're like, well, I'd like, and he's like, Myles, that was your move. And it was like, okay, well, I want to move. The next move is yours, Fairplay. Okay, are we good? Let's go.
Yeah, it really surprised. Yeah, it really surprised me how unwilling people are often to work with people that they see as big threats. When in my mind, actually having like a big threat as a number one ally is actually fantastic, because if they're a good player, their good play will not only help them, it'll help you too if you're their number one. Like, it's good to have strong players. It's actually really bad to have bad players as close allies, because they will blow up your game. It's much better to keep good players around, and they'll get you out of tough situations.
So go back and watch Pro Islands. Like, I get rid of Burton early just because, I was playing the second half of the game first and blah blah blah. But then when Burton comes back, the first thing he says we go for a walk, and he's just like, dude, I will fuck over anyone. I was just like, hey, Jonny Fairplay, nice to meet you. Let's fucking go. From that moment on, I am one of the most loyal players in the history of the game, but no one thinks, they're like, oh, dead grandma. Oh, he sent home Rupert. All right, well, Rupert was an asshole. No one liked him there. The only person that told you that we liked him was him, and the only person that told you that they hated me was me.
Well, you get that with a lot of villains. There's actually a lot of villains in the history of Survivor that are actually very loyal players who have like this idea around them of like being deceitful and lying and backstabbing and whatnot. And they just deceived and lied and backstabbed to most people, but a lot of them are actually fiercely loyal to their people, and that's what helps them and facilitates them get through. Like Russell has a bit of that. Like if your Russell's like number one or number two, like he will drag you to the end of the game, kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
right?
but he's dragging though.
Yeah. There's other issues there, but my point being,
right, and he's letting you know that he's dragging you.
Oh yeah, that's what you're gonna deal with.
Because you're a dumb female. Oh, he's so painful. What a one-trick pony.
I can imagine.
Oh God. Jeez Louise. All right. Whew. All right, we're getting through this. Kirby wants to be. Oh no, this is fun. Everyone's enjoying it. So. The comments will be like, "This is the greatest thing ever." So thank you. We appreciate the comments. No one got the trivia yesterday. I still got a DK chilling and a I'm pissed Liz. So for anyone that could fill in that next word after glory that Eden wanted to say so badly yesterday.
Hashtag Eden Porter 1. Do it.
Hashtag Eden Porter 1. All the cool kids are doing it for when they're talking Australian Survivor. All right, it's immunity challenge. This one's easy, Myles. It's just a battering ram through all the bricks in the wall, and then there's key locks with the battering ram. Then use the battering ram to make some kind of carrying component. You have to stack a bunch of blocks on there. Go across a ramp. Then use the ram to make a ladder to get to the top of a ramp. And then, there was a bridge earlier. Then use sandbags to knock off the targets from the thing that you carried over the bridge. And and the world had a huge lead the entire time, despite not having Super Muscle Rob.
Yeah, bizarre. Yeah. When you put it like that, easy peasy, so simple.
Yes. This was this is the difference between Australian Survivor and US Survivor. I would imagine Suri after this is going, fuck you.
Yeah, it seemed very intense. I mean, they're only like what? They're like 3 days out there at this point, so they're not exhausted or anything. But it still was a big challenge. And but something people really miss, throwing those sandbags is tiring. I threw a couple sandbags on mine. It's like very tiring throwing those big hucks of sand.
So no, well, Tony wins it for the world because Tony's great. That's why he's a 2-time winner and the only person in the history of Survivor to have won $3 million from Survivor. There's another guy that has 5.6 from another show that was spoiled during Tribal Council. How amazing was that?
Oh my God, what a moment. I fucking loved it. Oh, just that
Lisa, you just spoiled the Dundee season finale.
Yeah, it's the old. I do love that Lisa is just being like the fan in the game. Like she's just all of what all of us are feeling. That's her in the game at all times.
Well, that was Eden yesterday. Like Eden was like, I was saying those comments, and they're just like, oh, that's fan shit. Take it out.
Yeah, but I think there's probably a difference here because it's so explicitly like this is like the homage to Survivor, to World Survivor and whatnot. So I think there's probably a lot more fan service in this one versus My Seasonal Times versus Rebels, which are more explicitly just built for general consumption, you know?
Yeah, I did Pawn Stars, the TV show, and they film right beside the pawn shop. There's a replica of the pawn shop right next door. That's a sound, like it has all the lighting and the ceiling and all that.
Yeah.
And then the other people, walking around the pawn shop, those are extras, and they're literally like they're just making that, like they're not even using words, but so it's and while you're filming, they're like, do not reference the TV show. This is not a TV show. Do not say TV show. This is a pawn shop and a pawn transaction.
Yeah.
And I feel like with especially Australian Survivor, because like in the new era, like just been doing all that stupid fourth wall shit that doesn't work versus House of Villains where it works great.
Yeah.
Huge difference. So but in Australian Survivor, it's like this is Australian, like this is the adventure. And it's like it's not, hey, like the TV show part of it. It's this is your adventure. Fuck them. Let's tell your story. So
it's
you might
not
have a couple
show.
references in Confessional. It's just like, oh my God, growing up, like, I always dreamed of this or whatever. That's fine, but it's not like you're not talking spoiling Deal or No Deal season finale.
Yeah, it's a lot less about that, and it's a lot more focused on just the personalities and the gameplay as opposed to it being Survivor and it being everyone's dream, and that's how you do it on Survivor.
So I thought it was a cool thing. So all right, well, the world has a huge lead, and they win thanks to Tony. We go to commercial with David going, I want King George out, and I'm just like, worst fucking power bottom alliance ever.
I agree.
That other power bottom alliance had so much more legs to it.
Yeah, ours lasted, I think, 2 episodes longer than this. I think ours lasted very long either.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still 2 is more than half.
Yeah.
I think by the time they finished saying power bottoms and the alliance was over.
Yeah, Dave was already criticizing George and saying that he didn't want to work with him.
Yeah, so all right. Also, I don't know if for me, the exchanges between the Golden God and JLP hit a little extra hard this episode.
Oh, I know.
Holy moly.
Oh my God. Those like looks. I wonder if the editors, like, if they already knew what was happening when they put that in as far as the new Golden God being the new host, or if that was just a coincidence. Like, it was just giving them like, oh, this is fun. But no, I was watching with a mate and we were literally saying the same thing. Like, those are some weird looks that are being shared between them.
Oh my God. Like, I'm just like, what do you think? I mean, I'm friends with the Golden God. I've never met JLP, but I love him and I literally worship him. I think he's the greatest host in the history of anything. What do you think of the move?
I think first of all, I think JLP is like pretty much the optimum host you can get. I think JLP is an incredible host, but I also recognize that Channel 10 is really struggling at the moment financially. And I know that obviously Dave Gennet won all that money and is kind of just doing whatever he wants to do now. Money, not caring about the money. And I support any move that makes the show more sustainable long term, right? Like, I think that's the main thing. If having Dave Gennet comes in means that we get more Australian Survivor, we get more seasons like this that are incredible, we get better production, better sets, all of that, then I'm for it. Like, obviously, I think JLP does an incredible job. I think Dave Gennet is a totally reasonable replacement. I think he's probably one of the best people you could get in as a replacement. And I don't think it's going to like ruin the show or anything. It's just going to be different.
Okay. I'm wondering if a conversation could have been had of, hey, can you do it for less money, JLP?
I mean, maybe, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, right?
I don't think that conversation was had.
Yeah, maybe not. Who knows?
Yeah.
But as a whole, like I'm open to it, and I think, and I'm just pro for whatever like helps the show in the long term.
I'm right there with. I feel like we have the exact same stance. Like, do we both love JLP? Yes. Would we?
Yeah, amazing.
Would we prefer JLP? Yes, but if the difference is, hey, well, remember Survivor? Yeah, well,
yeah. If the difference is we get Australia versus the World 2 and it's incredible and it's hosted by Dave Gennet, like, absolutely, I'm going to take that over it being like canned or them struggling struggling with crappy production, or like what happened with South Africa. Like, South Africa's just been binned. I think people are making such a bigger deal about it than it really is. Like, people are just being kind of drama queens, to be honest.
Well, I love the people that say that they're not going to watch, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm coming to your house, and I'm going to make sure you don't turn on your TV because I think you're lying. I know you're going to watch because you're going to be the same ones complaining. Yeah. So how 100%. Are you going to complain when you didn't see it?
Yeah, but that's just the fans, because the fans, the 25% crazy.
Yes, 25%.
Not whoever's listening here.
Going the opposite. 75 is the number that you're looking for, Myles.
That's fair. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. But no one here, no one watching this. These are all the good ones.
All right. Well, we're back from a commercial, and holy moly, Kirby says she wants the Golden God to be her number one, and I'm just like, is this girl really playing an amazing game right here?
Yeah, well, that I felt like was a very obvious lie, but as we'll see in the next couple of scenes, apparently Kirby is playing like the best fucking game out there.
The Golden God was just like, hey, stare into my eyes when you say it. And she was like, all right, I don't give a fuck.
That's the move.
I just lied to you. Can you stare in my eyes and lie to me? Yeah.
He needed to compliment her on her eyes instead. That's the AJ classic. Worked for him.
Yeah. Oh my God, I look into your eyes. I just want to kiss you. Yeah, kiss me and I'll punch you, fucko. That's sexual assault, you dickhead. David doesn't like kings because kings don't need gods.
Well, that's a good line. That's fun. He gives good confessionals, David. I think
that was his best line this entire season.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, so it was less cartoony than the other shit.
Yeah, 100%. So. There were a few times it did feel like he was kind of overacting a little bit,
Yeah. So as I said, it was very, very season 2 coachy, and I'm just like, no one likes season 2 coach.
Yeah.
Season 3, great. Season 3 is just like, oh yeah, season 2 was a bust. Let me go back. Let me just show up and see what happens. And I'm like, there we go. That's the coach we know and love. We'll see season 4. Who knows? All right. George tells David that he's the vote, and Sarah is locked in with Kirby, but is still friends with David. So as a result, she clues in Janine to tell David George is worried. And I like that they're showing like a worried George is can produce good television, because when George needs to work, like, he needs to be put in that position to. I mean, George is good when he doesn't have to work, but he's really good when he needs to work.
Yeah, I think seeing him on the top just being like, I'm the king and why people are doing this and that or whatever can get a little bit grating sometimes. Seeing him really like struggle and push from the bottom, I think that's when he's at his most entertaining. In fact, I think like one thing that was very fun about the episode is seeing George and David, two people who have just traditionally dominated their seasons, both having to scrape and fight from the bottom a little bit and watching them both squirm. Like that was very fun to me.
Do you think George? Me and Eden had the conversation yesterday. Do you think that George rides the king thing too much? Because I feel like he does a good job of spacing it out. Because we know how production works. I guarantee production is like, say you're the jungle rat, say the rat, say the rat.
I was about to say you're really talking to the wrong person here. It's someone that was a shameless name repeater on my season. But no, I don't think it's too bad. There's definitely been worse cases of it. He definitely does. He does test that limit. I think he does refer to himself as the king a lot, but it's not too bad. I enjoy the theatrics of watching Survivor, and so I don't mind stuff like that. I imagine for some people it can get a little bit grating, but yeah, you're talking to someone who's biased.
I feel he rides this side of the line on it. So I can see it, but I feel he's on. I mean, like, you know, like
it's not Joker. It's not. I'm the Joker.
I'm the Joker. Literally. Joker was one of my favorite characters. I literally hate the fucking Joker now because of him.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. But yeah, no, I think he does all right with it, George.
Yeah. So, and I watch commercial free, but I just imagine, you know, well, you don't have to imagine because you lived it. Like imagine or put yourself back in the time where I'm the Joker is like, let's go to commercial. Hey, Batman coming. Fuck Batman. I think anything Batman related.
Yeah, I think one of the big things for George and why people find it a bit frustrating sometimes isn't the I'm the king thing. It's just that there's a lot of people who just kind of find George a bit insufferable when he's like on top and he's dominating everything and he's making the whole show about him. As someone that really enjoys watching George play just kind of in any form, like I don't get that. But I imagine if you were someone, I mean, it's like my season, there were a lot of people that my season, your enjoyment of it entirely depended on, do you like AJ and I? Do you not like AJ and I? If you don't like AJ and I, our season gets insufferable really fucking fast. If you're like AJ and I,
Kaylin fan, it's not the season for you.
The Kaylin fans were very upset with how the season ended up going, unfortunately. But yeah, I think a lot of it depends on if you like George or not. If you don't like George, the king thing is going to get old really quick.
Okay, fair enough. As I said, I get it, but you know, I feel he keeps it this
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So holy moly, George, Kirby, and David combo. This is one for the ages.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the history of Survivor. I love this scene so much. It was incredible. It was pure, incredible cinema. It's three of the best characters Australian Survivor has to offer, having a hilarious conversation, like playing hard Survivor and trying to outplay each other and outmaneuver. Because what's happening here is that George is actually kind of trying to throw Kirby under the bus and try and salvage something with David, right? So you got George trying to salvage something with David. David's trying to salvage his thing with Kirby. George is trying to hold on to his relationship with Kirby. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's done with so few words is what I think makes it so beautiful. Like if this is, you know, like we see in Tribal Council, you know, George using 400 words and you know, you got the Charlie Brown wah going, you know, it's just like, you know, what was that versus, you know, what's this? You know, I don't know who, it's her. You're like, it's literally like they're charging $10,000 a word, and it's just like, well, I'm trying to keep some money in my pocket.
I audibly gasped when he went to it's her and looked over to her. I couldn't believe it, but I also think it's incredible. I do think that was the moment where Dave really fucked up. I think that's the point in time in which if you're the Golden God and you've had this interaction, that's where you course correct and you go, oh shit, I'm in trouble here.
And George is the only one fucking helping me. George is literally trying to give him.
George is trying to give him. Yeah, and George is trying to give him a way out, and what does he do immediately after? He goes straight back to Kirby and keeps pitching George. Like, are you kidding? Like, at that point, you've had two people come back to you, and you had Sarah come back to you, and you've had George come back to you and say the same thing, which is Kirby is gunning for you. At that point, you course correct. Right? Because clearly, you have people who are willing to work with you. If you're getting the information from two people, those people are open to working with you, right? So where is your name coming from? Kirby. Like, I do not understand what was going on there, but what a scene.
It's junior high school. It's you ask out the girl, she says no, and it's just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask her out again.
Yeah. It was completely bizarre, but some of the best TV Survivor I've ever seen. Incredible.
So, but as I said, just the word value of just God bless America. Less is more, folks. Less can be more, but in more times than not, less is more.
Yeah. And how then Kirby ends up in this position following where she's just in the water and everyone's just one by one coming up to her, asking her what they want to do. Like, I don't understand how she's ended up in this spot where she has seemingly entire control of the whole tribe wrapped around her finger. It's bizarre.
Yeah, the newbie. Literally, I mean, like, you could all, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, you could all go together and be like, one of these are not like the other. We are all legends, quote unquote legends. Yes, is Kirby a legend? Yes, but is she as old a legend as we are? No, so we win.
Yeah. I mean, have you met Kirby? You met Kirby down in Melbourne, right? She's definitely. Yep. I mean, there's something to be said. She's got that like raw, natural charisma, right? Like she's got this cool factor.
There's an aura about her to where you want to be her friend.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Yeah. What's bizarre is that you've got David there, right? Like you've got George there, you've got Jonny there, you've got these people who historically have been considered to have that aura as well, but Kirby apparently is just the one dominating somehow.
Yeah, so
it's incredible. I'm so impressed.
If I'm there and I don't have 100% bond with Kirby, I'm going after Kirby out of fear of what she brings to the table. But as I said, I feel it's just as simple as we've been doing this forever. You know, kick off the new kid.
There's a very specific type of Survivor player that really scares me, right? Which is players that can convince people to do things that are against their best interests. And that scares me personally because, like, I want to try and predict what people are going to do, and I can do that by figuring out what's their best move. Kirby is in that category of like players who can convince people to blow up their own game or do something completely wrong just by pure like charisma and charm and whatnot. Yeah. Like that's terrifying.
Yeah, no, like Ferris owes Kirby a debt of gratitude in that Ferris was playing his game and it was masterful. Yeah. Kirby is playing literally the exact opposite game while this game is like they're playing two games at the same time, parallel to one another. And I think Kirby takes out a lot of Ferris's obstacles.
Oh, 100%.
Not for Ferris, for her, but it just
it just works out. It just works out really well. Yeah,
games just right beside each other.
Yeah, 100%.
God bless Kirby. Way to go, Kirby.
Incredible play.
Got skills. So let's see. David goes to the water and begs Kirby. This was a little cartoony, but I liked this one.
It was fun. This
was the Golden God's best cartoony confessional.
Well, it's because it's not like a lot of the other cartoony ones were kind of him being like, I'm the best, I'm the golden god, fuck George, whatever. This one was more of like the self-deprecation, which is I think when most people are at their best in confessionals, is when you're being a little bit self-deprecating and being like, okay, fine, I'm going to have to go and sit down and beg for Kirby. Like, that's fun. And that's probably him at his best confessional-wise.
Yeah, so no, that was cool. So then he begs Sarah, and I'm just like, wow, your friend since she was 17, you have to beg her? Like, once again, what a shitty friendship. So Sarah and Kirby agree to go on George, and I'm just like, this is the worst episode ever. I hate this. George puts in an all-out all vote on Janine plea, to which George replies, look, I'm the strategy master. When I first met George, I was just like, holy, like, in a tribe of 7, you want to get rid of someone, it's 4 votes to 3. And George's like, oh no, it's 2-2-1-1. Oh my God, you're such an idiot. You don't understand. And I'm just like, wow, how does this guy do this? George is just like, here's the battle plan. Here's the playbook. Rip it up. Sandra Diaz-Twine, one of the greatest players in the history of the game. As long as it's not me, there's the game plan.
Yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed it. It was kind of seeing George in like a totally different element to where we usually see him, where he's just the anyone but me. And he made it work, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. To see the king dumb it down shows you how different all of this is, how different the 16 days is, how different the Australia versus the world, like everything is, I don't know if it is the quote unquote rocket fire sped up pace, but is this game too fast for a convoluted strategic game?
Potentially. One thing that I really liked about what George was doing is that I think there's something to be said for people who can play a very flexible game. Like I think Rob was I think both Robs, I think Boston Rob and also Rob Bentele suffer from the fact that they play the same game over and over again, and it works only against very specific types of people, right? I think David probably had a little bit of that this episode, but George actually showed a lot of flexibility here, like an ability to change completely what his style of play and play something different, which I think not that many Survivor players, especially like the Survivor players who play really great games, a lot of them win playing a certain way and then have a lot of trouble adjusting and playing a different way with a different cast and a different group of people. And it's cool to see him being able to do that. Or at least so far, we'll see. He's still in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah. So no, because there's so much ego to those, those great
100%
elite players. And it's just like, say I'm out there in the spot and I'm just like, oh, well, let me show off in front of King George, let me do a King George type move. So, but it's just like, oh shit, my arch enemy, Sandra Diaz-Twine, she won. How did she win? As long as it's not me. Why am I trying to reinvent the wheel here? Like, I don't need to be a genius on episode 2. I need to be a genius on episode 10.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We've talked a lot about ego so far, but I do think that it's something that's really under discussed in like Survivor analysis. And I'm sure you feel this way as well, is how much ego has to do with everything. And I'm not using it as like a knock against players. I think, as I said, I've got a huge ego. I'm sure you'd say that. Yeah, it's a component. Like,
I have a huge ego.
Reality TV essentially self-selects for people with big egos, and then the people who win and do very well, they get that confirmed to them, so their ego grows even bigger. But it does have like such a massive part, especially on these returnee seasons, on dictating what moves people make and how the games progress and whatnot.
Yeah, as I said, I'm a firm believer in making good TV. I I love to have like House of Villains. I knew that there were other huge egos in that house, but I also knew that I knew how to play the game. Like myself, Johnny Bananas, and Omarosa knew how to play the game head and shoulders above everyone else, not even close.
Yeah, the gamers,
So, and it's just like, okay, well, let me I cannot steal time from Bobby Lights. It's impossible. He's literally a neon billboard with feathers and Versace. I mean, like that. So I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to compete for that airtime. I was like, but I'm going to put myself in a situation to where when a Bobby Lights is gone, this is my show. So, and I feel like that's on a returnee season or an all-star season or a traders or something like that. If you just want to go out and just like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, it's not going to work.
No,
so,
not at all.
And so many of these people need that in their lives and more importantly in their TV lives when this is happening. If they don't get fed that, they're they're either a crybaby or it's not optimal for them. You're not going to see them be the optimal them, and it's not going to be good for them. So
100%.
The ego management I think is possibly the number one component in this type of deal.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
So great point, Myles. So
I'm just going to take my
it's
jump
tribal.
Really sorry.
Okay. He's taking off his clothes. He's getting on the pole. For those of you that are listening, not watching it, you missed it. So it's tribal. JLP says, George, what do you think we've done with what do you How does the play? Whatever. There was a. I wrote it down wrong. What do you think? What do you think of what we've done with the place? There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
There was a missing word there. So George's like, it's similar but different. I like it. So, I wonder how much better is this going to be next season with all the money they saved on you for the Golden Gun. So next, Kirby drops the princess line for the third time this episode.
Yeah, that was something she had pre-rehearsed a bit in her head.
Yeah, I love the line, but I would have liked it once.
Yeah, that's the thing with that kind of thing. Like, if it was just popped up once, kill a line, but once you hear it that second or third time, it's like, oh.
So that's why I'm a big like you guys love Tribal Council and getting your shit in at Tribal Council. I don't like Tribal like Jeff. You're just like, are you going to say anything? I'm like, nope. I'm like, you're not ruining my game. This is not the time. You can be honest. I don't care what they're like. What about your airtime? I'm like, I get my airtime throughout the episode. I am the narrator of the season. I'm doing my one-liners. I don't have anyone to sit there and not laugh or step on my line. That is my time. The first 45 minutes of the 1 hour, and I will do this and say nothing during Tribal. But holy moly, you guys like. You work out your material in your confessionals and they show half of it and then you get Tribal's like, all right, here's all my rehearsed material. And it's just like,
I get you. I mean, I'd have some rehearsed material in that I'd have some like lines that I'd be planning to like drop or whatever. But I was very much not one for like the Tribal theatrics. I had a few fun moments, obviously, with like the advantage plays and whatnot, but that's, you're doing that anyway, right? But as far as more the general Tribal drama, I definitely like really didn't like that and tried to actually stay really chill in the Tribals. I was much more one for the confessionals, but it is a very Australian Survivor thing to love a little like Tribal Council blow up.
Oh yeah. Now I did the lies or the wicker furniture line. I said that during for a confessional, and I was like, okay, I was like, hopefully you guys use this. And then like a few days later, I said it again. And I was like, I don't know if it works better here or 3 days ago, but do not recycle. Like, I don't recycle jokes. So please choose one or the other. I don't, and they used it twice. And I'm just like,
of course.
I hate you. I'm like, I'm not that guy. I'm not like that. That's hack shit.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But no, the Kirby, we had the confessional princess. We had her practicing it on the Golden God earlier, and then I'm like, got it. And I don't think she thinks of herself as a princess.
Yeah, it was a weird line because she's not a person that I would see as I couldn't actually imagine her thinking of herself as a princess. It was very bizarre.
Who's the chick? From and I don't mean chick in a bad way, folks. It's like I dudes and chicks. I call girls dudes. It's thing. So it's not a thing. It's just whatever. Who's the lady from Game of Thrones? The tall with the blonde hair. She's also in Severance. She's the keeper of the goats. I believe that's the same lady.
I can't remember. I know who you're talking about. Tall blonde hair. Yes, I can't remember.
Yeah, I have that vibe from whatever her authoritative figure was on Game of Thrones. That's Bree, maybe.
The really big one with the sword.
Yeah. So, but that's the vibe I get from Kirby.
Brienne of Tarth. That's it. Sorry, I
there we go. It. What was her station in the kingdom? What was she?
It was the King's Guard. She was the King's Guard to Renly Baratheon.
There we go. Wow. See, yes. So
you got your nerd. I'm doing my best to replace Eden. I'm not as fast to it as Eden is, but I've got the pop culture knowledge in there somewhere.
You got it. But that's Kirby. Kirby's not Princess isn't, or Kirby's not Princess Toadstool.
Yeah, no, she's a badass warrior girl.
Yeah. So all right, we gotta revisit this, Kirby. I don't like the princess shit. So that's it. I just don't think it's fitting.
Yeah, it was very, very strange.
Yeah. So, and especially double down a third time, I'm like, oh my god.
She made a joke earlier in the episode where they were doing the long hair thing, her and David, and she's like, "Oh, this is the girliest that I've ever felt." And it's like, yeah, and then it's very strange to go from that to like her being like, "I'm the princess of the tribe." Like that's very, very bizarre.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I felt like David felt much more at home with it. So, all right. David puts over Kirby as elite. Relax, buddy. We all see through your what I think he's still trying. I think he's just like, hey, is this gonna work out or what? And she's like, dude, I've told you no 8 times. We're not going out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I will not just hold your hand.
He just kept coming back to her over and over again instead of trying to like pivot to try something else. It was just back to Kirby. Like, please, Kirby.
It was Jonny Fairplay 8th grade. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen. You mean to tell me that the hottest girl here in junior high will not go out with me? Yeah. I'm going to keep asking until you change your mind.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So George does his George tribal talk. Meanwhile, Kirby is driving the David vote full throttle in front of David. Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't think she likes you.
Yeah.
So Sarah says she's going with loyalty this go round. David does not like the sound of that. She's going with loyalty. I've been friends with her since she was 17. This doesn't sound good for me.
It's really interesting. They didn't really show like how this bond between Kirby and Sarah came about. It was like just suddenly
coffee with George and Sydney.
Yeah, okay. little behind the scenes there.
We don't have that. So that's what I hate about a lot of these returnee seasons. It's like we're starting the show with chapter 4.
Well, I think on like a larger season, returnee season, potentially, you've at least got the fact that there's more room to maneuver because there's so many players. But especially with a tribe this small, the fact is you got these pre-existing connections, and there's actually very little room to maneuver if you can't work with this person, or if you're locked in working with this person. Like it's very difficult to pivot when there's only 7 people on the tribe. Versus when you got those big 12-person tribes, right? Like, oh, if these 2 have a connection or these 3 have a connection, it's like, okay, it's fine. There's 9, 8 other people that I can work with instead.
Yeah. Maybe someone else will take out my friend for me that they're my friend, but they're not like my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my old friend from 17. Yeah.
I lost that vote. Oh well. And then Confessional. Oh my god, this really hurts a lot. Can't wait to catch up.
Oh my god, right, I wish I had some way to save him, like an idol in my pocket or something I could have played. Oh, rats.
Toki. All right. Let's see. David is now driving the Shawnee vote, and then David and George just stand up, walk away, and talk. And I'm just like, this should have been equally as bad for George as it was for the Golden God, but it wasn't.
No. But also, can I say, first, what a moment. What a moment, just the 2 of them at Tribal Council and like talking. I just thought, as like a big Survivor fan, that was just an awesome moment to have them like talking.
Like the 2 of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, literally.
I
would say of Australian Survivor, as far as characters. If you're talking like TV Australian Survivor characters, I think they're the 2 best.
Yeah, and I think it's a tie.
Yeah. But also, you know what's crazy about this is that this like Shawnee vote that he's trying to do last minute. Should have been doing that from the fucking start. Like David's left it way too late here to try and pull this off. I actually think if he started doing it earlier, George 100% jumps on board. But he's left it to bloody final. He's left it to Tribal Council to try and do it. At which point, as I'm sure you know, like you don't want to be changing shit at Tribal Council. But if he'd come to George at some point throughout the day, I reckon George goes along with it. George is like scraping for anything he can get. But yeah, it was very bizarre the way that this was just this last minute. Oh, how about you vote for Shawnee? And then they just flip it back. And I actually think if maybe Luke didn't very obviously lie to George about like, oh, we're voting Janine, we're not voting Shawnee, there's probably potential there that they could have actually gotten. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to George about it. So maybe he was just always set on voting out David. But at least in the episode, it really
George was set on working with George. Saw his only path to the merge
being with David
was working with the Golden God and Luke.
Yeah. So in a world where
he had his conversations with he knew Shawnee was going to Shawnee, and he had his conversation with Kirby and Sarah, but he saw their friendship with Shawnee as like, oh, this could go bad. He was just like, he goes, us three, and then as soon as we hit the merge, I'm Team America.
Yeah. But yeah,
so the opposite of me. Like I get to the merge, I'm Team Australia.
You two are switching sides.
And Johnny, all I really wanted was to get to the merge with George and name it Queen Elizabeth, the name of our merge tribe. That's all I wanted.
Johnny, I'm very, very happy losing George to bring you in. Like, I'll take that swap very happily.
Thanks. So, David's votes are on Shawnee. I'm like, okay, now they're back on George.
Now they're back on George.
Does anyone have an idol? Luke Toki has no friends, no idol. So the votes are in. It's Janine. All right. I was like, that's George. And then it's George, the George neck crack, which that is a real, have you seen him do that in real life?
Yeah, 100%.
Like if George is agitated, like if the food is like a minute late, you get the North, like it is a tell.
Yeah, totally. So, can I ask, what do you think of this move to like throw a vote on Janine?
Because that was the last thing Luke told him, and he was showing his allegiance to them.
Yeah, I thought so as well. Do you think it was a bad move, like kind of burning that relationship potentially with the three people that were trying to save him? Or do you think it was worth it to try and build a little bit with Luke?
I think he's submarined this game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like George did in that moment. That was his game to play. If he doesn't have Luke Toki and the Golden God, what does he really
he's
have?
just kind of screwed. Yeah. I get you.
So he's playing poker and he's all in.
Yeah, it's like, this is my only actual.
You might get saved. He's just like, yeah, but I mean, all my chips are over there.
Yeah. I only have one route to actually like having a long-term sustainable game here. This is the one route, even if it's not that likely it's going to happen. There's no point even bothering with that because it's just not going to work out long-term.
Yeah. But however, George is good enough to reroute and all that, and so all is not lost. But at that moment, that was his all-in move, and I support it. I support all-in moves.
I agree. Listen, you're talking to someone that is also very big and a big fan of all-in moves. Because in my mind, right, like if you're playing to win the game, you should always be doing things that increase your chance of winning the game, right? Like I really am against a lot of the kind of half measure one. Like I know it's the Sandra thing, like one more day in the game, anyone but me. But as a general rule of thumb, I think you should be doing like making moves that increase your chance of winning in the game long term, as opposed to just the short termism that I think a lot of people have in the game.
Yeah. I am not a philosopher to the as long as it's not me shit. It pains me, but I mean, go along to get along. But 16 days. I think it was the right move for George. So I don't think that was, well, I mean, obviously it wasn't the right move for the Golden God.
Yeah, it's honestly it's crazy how bad I think Dave Gennet played, considering like how good of a player he's shown himself to be previously. But like I really was stunned by like how bad he played in this episode, to be honest. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. There's potentially stuff that isn't shown and whatnot, but it was just really, really poor gameplay at its core.
Yeah. But there's also, I think, as bad as it appears as though he played, you guys are pretty good about if you've won before, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. But the main thing for me is that there was just such a clear out. Like you and I both know that George really wanted to work with David. David had 3 people in a tribe of 7. He could have had George if he wanted to, and he didn't. And it's just as simple as that. And George was doing everything in his power to try and work with David, and David did it, which is like he got handed the majority on a platter and then complained to the waiter, essentially, and then went to hit on the hot girl again.
Yes. Hey, hot girl, I don't like you. All right. Well, guess what? It's vote George, neck crack, third vote George, 3 votes David. We're tied. It's a revote. That means George and the Golden God can't vote. And so wherever that errant Janine vote came from, it was George. Don't worry. Will not affect George in a bad way. And the Golden God is second out. Holy shit. And he was like, let me make this moment count. I am officially retired. JLP, put out my torch so I can put out yours.
I'll tell you what, he was salty. David was not happy about getting voted out there.
Yeah. And then you have production George going, guys, it's the fucking Golden God having a standing ovation.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, that was lovely.
So I mean that moment deserved that.
Yeah, 100%.
And we go to the post vote out confessional. The Golden God is sour.
Yeah. He was not happy. He was not happy.
I felt like he was bothered to do. They're just like, hey, can you do it? It's just like, no, not really.
I love salty, those kind of Obama. It's not even a million because Obama took it, kind of annoyed, salty vote out confessionals. I think they're so much fun. As much as I probably wouldn't do it because I was just pretty chill about being voted out if it had happened. But I think I really enjoy the you've had your dreams squashed, you had your hopes and what your plans and whatnot ruined. You've been backstabbed and blindsided by people you trusted. It's I think it's fair that you feel a little bit frustrated and upset and angry and whatever. And I think it's fun when people let it all out.
Yeah. And my favorite's the Rupert, when I got rid of Rupert. So much for my dreams.
Yeah. So much for my dreams. So good.
And the beauty of that, while he is saying that, I'm back on the island stomping on his shells he collected for his wife and daughter. So he had this big bag of shells he collected every day to bring home. And right before we went to tribal, I was like, brother, you're good. You don't even need to bring those shells to tribal. He's like, thanks, Fairplay. And he sets them down. And I come back and I stomp on them.
Can I ask, what's your relationship with Rupert now? Do you because I know you're quite friendly with a lot of the Pearl Island people now. Andrew Savage gave you a little defense on Twitter the other day. But what are you like with Rupert?
Rhino called me yesterday to ask me what Traitors was. He left a message. I was in the middle of something, and I was just like, yeah, that's a 1-hour phone call that I'm saving for tomorrow. Now, me and Rupert are good. It's funny because it literally took at least 2 years, close to 3, for us, because we'd be at things and he was like, oh, fuck you, Fairplay, I hate, he just would, and as I said, about just about 3 years, we were somewhere, I was just like, dude, you got a second? He goes, I guess. And, and I think we were having a shot or smoking a joint or something, whatever. And I was like, dude, if it wasn't for you, they wouldn't hate me. And if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't love you. You're welcome. And thank you. And he was like, I didn't think about it that way. I'm like, yeah. No shit, stupid.
Yeah, he won $1 million just for being loved so much that probably a lot of that comes down to you. Yeah.
So no, did I hate Rupert out there? Yes, but at the same time, I'm just like, this is I was just like, I want to be the biggest bad guy in the history of reality television. They're losing their mind. No one had everyone that was a bad guy prior to me. I got a bad edit. That wasn't me. It was CGI. It was all lie. None of it's true. I'm just I'm the bad guy. And I'm like,
it's
all
so
right,
funny.
Well, I'm the bad guy. Who's the good guy? I'm like, this fucking moron, man. That's my fucking. There's my arch enemy.
It's so funny. I don't know if I've told you this. Because I got a really big hero edit. I was trying to be the bad guy all season. All season in my mind, I'm the sneaky little jungle rat. Me and AJ did get the bad guy at it, but in my eyes, me and AJ were the villains of the season. We're the ones that are messing everyone up. Everyone's constantly cranky at me the whole time. I'm playing idols and whatnot. And then we get to the end and I win and I get this like glorious hero edit when in my mind, all of my confessionals were through the lens of I'm the bad guy here. And that's why like I didn't even really expect to win because I was like, I'm going to piss everyone off. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be a big character. I'm going to get voted off at some point. I don't really care. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And then I hit final 8 and I'm like, oh, I could actually win this. And then we get to the end. It's like, oh, I'm going to get a really good edit, I guess, somehow. And then they edit out all of the things that I did that annoyed everyone.
So, and it's funny because like to make you the good guy, there has to be a bad guy. So like Karin, I'm watching, I'm just like, oh my God, this is the worst person ever. I can't stand her. And then I meet Karin, and I'm just like, are you like the greatest person ever? She's like, yeah,
she's amazing.
The editors.
yeah. Karin and Logan both suffered very significant. Karin, Logan, and Zara all really suffered for my edit, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about Zara. I feel Zara's still complaining to a manager somewhere at this very moment. So, but sweet Logan could do no wrong just in spite of an edit. I think she got a really good Shawnee. I don't know if it's 1.0. How many times has Shawnee played the game? 12?
4 now, I think. This
I think it's
4. No, Logan had a pretty good edit.
Edits was the Logan edit, which was not a very kind edit.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, I feel like we all grew to love Shawnee, in spite of what they wanted us to think.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. Just crazy the Australian Survivor fans having any sort of nuanced opinion on the edit and the show.
It's there's a lane you're supposed to be in. It's on the wrong side of the road. In case you're watching in Australia, we ride on the correct side, and it's the right side.
Yeah,
that's why it's called the right side, Myles. So, all right. Well, yeah, that's it. I guess there's another one of these tomorrow. You feel like you want to binge drink for the next 18 hours and come back?
Yeah, I'm in. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm all good. Got no plans tomorrow, so I'm fine.
Myles, where can everybody find you on the socials?
I've got Instagram. It's just Myles Kuah. I've got Twitter. It's just Myles M Kuah. If you want Survivor thoughts, Twitter is the place. I post about Survivor on Twitter, so that's it. If you want me like pole dancing and dressing up funky and whatnot, that's on Instagram.
Are you doing the Blue Sky?
No, I can't be. I have a Blue Sky account, but I just can't be bothered, to be honest.
I can't either. Everyone's just like, Twitter's so toxic, and I'm just like, yes, it is. However, I just avoid the toxic.
Yeah, same. That's me. I just avoid the toxic.
But I am down to watch some good Eliza versus Stephanie LaGrossa stuff. and for the coach comments of it all.
Oh yeah. I do love that.
I still don't even know what Coach's stance on it is, because Coach is like, yeah, I'm MAGA. No, I didn't vote for that idiot. And I'm like, what?
What is Eliza versus Stephanie? Is that like the two worst people are fighting meme for US Survivor?
As long as there's wine involved or Tito's vodka, as some people are guessing, I'm all in. I need a good feud with someone so that I could just tie one on and then cut a Insta live on them.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love a fucking feud with someone. Who should I feud with? I'll start it today.
I would say let's do a fake feud, but I feel like we're kind of fucking that up by saying it right here. So we're not doing a fake feud, brother.
Karin and I had an idea before our season was airing that because we knew that obviously we'd go against each other at one point, and that we both would make comments about each other and whatnot, that we were going to start fake Twitter beef. We never got around to it because I think by then everyone was really drained by the whole Survivor social media of it all. But we did very much have an idea to just start totally fake but ridiculous Twitter beef or something.
Yeah, Jam wanted us to do a fake Twitter beef, and he was just, and I was just like, Jam, I don't really. He's like, no. He's like, hear me out. He's like, I'll send the lines I'm gonna say about you to you, and you read them and you edit, and then send them back, and I'm just like, oh my god, never. I'm just like just saying that out loud just hurt my brain. Like, please, I'm not editing each other. Like, editing
that seems like a little bit much. Where's the spontaneity?
That word's a little strong, Jam.
Yeah.
So no fake Twitter feuds. But I feel like this one, Eliza and Stephanie, is pretty legit.
I
want more. Yeah, and when and I'm not defending any. I'm friends with both of them, and for the record, I've been closer with Eliza. I played Survivor with Eliza, so and Stephanie did not like me for a while. She grew to like me, but she did not for a while. So I'm friends with both. I don't think when Stephanie called her Jewish, she was saying oh, you didn't catch that? Oh yeah, she goes, you're saying this, you're Jewish and you're 1% and one, but I don't think she was saying Jewish like you're Jew, like she was just saying you come from a high income, like the 1%, you come from a high income, who are you? Why are you chastising me for voting Republican?
I'll tell you what, though, the optics are pretty fucking bad for that one.
They are, especially as she's saying the slur.
Oh, was it on like an Instagram live?
Yes, she's hammered.
I need to watch this. It sounds amazing.
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Oh, I need to find this.
Yeah, she's hammered, but as I said, I don't think she's saying you're Jewish to be like, you're Jewish. I think she was just. Nothing comes out right. It's just happening. And as I said, it's literally at the bottom, it should be like sponsored by Tito's. Or Wheatley, so good you drink it neatly.
Sorry, that's so fucking funny. I'm just lost. Sorry. Okay, let's continue.
There we go.
Oh my god!
You know what? I'm gonna talk to Bobby in production. We're gonna get a sponsorship logo on this.
Hell yeah!
Stephanie rant, and I'll present it during the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get it. Yeah, tomorrow I'll show up. I'll bring mine. You bring yours, and we can start some beef and get canceled.
I have moonshine.
Jeez.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Watertown Whiskey, Mikey B's, from Survivor Micronesia. Mikey B's, he has his own liquor. Watertown Whiskey. Might be able to ship out there. Who's to say? So, all right. So with that, I'm at Jonny Fairplay and all the things. Go to JonnyFairplay.com for links to everything. Click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment. That's the best way to control that pesky algorithm. And get a cameo. I don't know, all the things. Realityaftershow.com is links to all the stuff related to things. Oh, if you want to watch the show and you're not in Australia, go to realitypatron.com. There's links there for all the for the episodes. And until tomorrow, Myles, you rule. Thank you. And
cheers.
Thank you, everybody else. Goodbye, everybody.